Hey guys, Uncle Jay Shuffleboson here. I want to tell you a time that when I was a young teenage punk, I went dumpster diving with my buddies. Remember Scotty the Body, the guy that punched that Denny's manager right in the cabbage to save my life? He's in this story. And so is his little brother Ted, who blew up the space shuttle. I don't know if you guys saw that video, but it's on my page. So there's four of these brothers. Charlie was the oldest, and then Scotty the Body, and then you had John, and Ted was the youngest. And these guys ditched school a lot, except for Scott. Scott's like, he ended up being really successful. He went to college and became a structural engineer, and he did pretty good for himself. Yeah, anyway, I'm kind of getting off topic here. So when I met these guys is when I was going to like junior high and stuff, and I was ditching school a lot. And these guys, I met them, they were ditching school a lot. Like that they all had mullets, and yeah, like their mom couldn't really control them, and their dad was afraid of them. He just locked himself in his bedroom. I mean, these guys were. I mean, we were all kids, but they were like smoking cigarettes and drinking Kool-Aid and shit on the front porch when they should be in school. But they were fun to hang out with. One day we went dumpster diving behind a department store. And we liked doing that a lot. We'd ride our bikes to the shopping center and go into dumpsters. And most of it was just broken furniture that we just destroyed even more. Just screwing around, doing stuff like that. But one day, we were in this dumpster breaking shit, and we came across a mannequin. And it's just a mannequin of a guy, but it's just his torso. He didn't have his arms or legs or any of that. And so we took that mannequin and we took him back to Ted and Scott's. We went back to their place. And here's what we did with this thing. We decided to screw with people. So we got like a nail gun, and we put a pair of jeans on him. We put a pair of pants on him, stuffed them with old rags and t-shirts and stuff like that, and we put some roller skates at the bottom of the legs of the jeans, and we put like a jacket on him with some gloves, and we filled the arms with shop rags and stuff like that. And this is what we did. We were horrible kids. We took some deep sea fishing line, and we went into the backyard, and they had this big wall, this big cinder block wall in the backyard, and there's a big tree next to the wall. We ran the fishing line from the tree, but on the other side of the wall, was it Ponderosa Drive or something like that? Is a pretty big road, and you had traffic going one way and then traffic going the other, and we ran that test line, that fishing line, from the tree at an angle down across the road to the bus stop sign, and had it really tight. And we took one of those it's like a construction eye hook thing. We put a hat on him, and then we put that hook down into its head, and we set them up on top of the wall, and we hooked them on top of that fishing line, and we'd sit there and wait for a car to come by, and we'd see a car coming, and we did this at night, and we were like, all right, go, and we'd pick him up and just shove his ass down the fishing line, and as he's going down the street, across the street, he's like flopping around everywhere, and most of the time we missed. Our timing was off, or people would stop and then like yell at us. So then we'd run across the street and sling them back up the fishing line, up on top of the wall, hop back over the wall, and then we got our timing down. We picked him up, slid him down the line, and he's like just flopping around, and all of a sudden, boom, and he goes flying, just ragdolls across the street and like 20 feet, and just hits the asphalt. This lady gets up, oh my God! And we're all laughing and stuff. And she realized that it was a mannequin, and And she started yelling at us and everything, and we're just laughing and laughing. Well, the cops showed up. We all got in trouble. Yeah, that was, we were horrible kids. We were absolutely horrible kids. We'd take Dixie cups and fill them with paint and just set them out in the street and see if cars would hit them. Don't ever do that shit. Don't ever do that shit. Yeah, we were horrible, horrible kids. But, you know, and I remained friends with these guys over the years. And Ted, who blew up the space shuttle, he does, he flips houses, he does construction. He's married, has a kid, and doing great and everything. But before that, I was living on my sailboat, and I ended up getting rid of the sailboat because the marina was screwing everybody over. So, yeah, Ted called me. He said, dude, I just bought a house. I'm like, congrats. And he said, are you still living on your boat? And I said, yeah, but not for long. I'm getting rid of it. He said, well, whatever you're paying for slip fees, I'll charge you for a room if you want to come live here. I said, okay. So I sold my boat, bought a camper, moved in with Ted. And he had a couple other roommates. And one day, I was on Craigslist just looking for stuff for what's in my area for sale. And I saw this ad. Somebody was selling a pair of mannequins. And they were, I don't know, like kid-sized, like 11 years old or something. They were about, 3.5, 4 feet tall. And they wanted $40 for them. Like $20 each. There's a boy and a girl mannequin. And I'm thinking, that's weird. Why do people sell mannequins on Craigslist? You get all kinds of weird shit you can find on Craigslist. But I was thinking this would be a good prank. I'm going to prank Ted and my roommates with these fucking kids. So, oh yeah, Steve moved in with us. He was the guy that was driving the truck at Denny's. So we all were living together in this house for a while. And so I replied to the ad, and I said I'm interested. And then and this person gave me the address and stuff. And anyway, so I drove my truck down into Oxnard at this place, knocked on the door, and it was I don't know, some guy, like 17-year-old kid or something, living with his grandparents. And he said, I want to get rid of these things. They creep me out. They were in the garage. I don't know why my grandparents had them. I'm like, all right, well, I'll take them. But we put them in the truck, and they kept like falling forward, like under the fucking glove box. So I had to put the seatbelt on them. And on my way back to Ted's house, I stopped at Carl's Jr. and I got a number 4 combo. And when I got to the window to pay, the lady was looking in my truck at the mannequins and looked at me, and she said, did you need any ketchup? And I'm like, you kids want ketchup? Yeah, we'll take a couple packs. She thought I was totally nuts. And so Steve was at work. He was working nights at UPS. And so I took those kids, those mannequins, I went around to his bedroom window. He always keeps the blinds closed. But I put them up against the window, whether like with their hands up like that, you can move them around. And it took like a day or two, but he opened up the blinds and saw them, and he damn near shit his pants. And then Steve took the girl one and like taped a butcher knife in her hand. And Ted's house has a long hallway that goes from the living room down to all the bedrooms. Well, he had her like half staring, like this. Like that, looking down the hallway with a knife in her hand. So I open up my bedroom door and I look, I see this fucking kid just like peeking around the corner with a fucking butcher knife. And then I took the mannequins and I put them in the back of Ted's truck and his back seat. He had a 4-door Ram pickup truck. And he said he got halfway to his job site. He looked in the mirror and fucking damn near drove off the road. So we were pranking each other with these mannequin kids. And they're still over at Ted's house. He uses them for Halloween stuff. He always has a Halloween war with the neighbor across the road who has the most bullshit in the yard. I remember one Halloween he had him out and with all the other stuff, and I came up with a pretty fun idea for Halloween. I took my suit of armor, my jousting armor, and I sat in a chair by the front door holding a bucket. I mean, a big bowl of candy, and there's a note on my breastplate that said, "Just take one." And and some kids would only take one piece. Some of them would grab a handful, and then I'd grab them, but they always come up and start looking in the helmet. And the way the lighting was, you can't look inside the eye slits and tell if anybody's wearing the helmet. It looked like a prop. But the funniest part was this little kid, his mom, and she's pushing a stroller with a baby in it, and they're coming down the sidewalk, and the kid looks up the house. He's like, "Oh yeah," he's all stoked, and he's like running up the driveway, and he stops and he looks at me, and I'm sitting there with the bowl of candy, and I'm trying hard not to laugh. He's at the bottom of the driveway, and he starts to walk up a little bit, and he's like looking, and he gets a little bit closer, and he's looking, and he turns around to his mom and like points at me, and she said, "Go ahead, go, get up there." And he's like slowly coming up the driveway to me because he wants the candy so bad, and he's looking at the helmet, and I'm not moving. I'm holding my breath, and he reaches into the bowl, and then he turns. He doesn't have his hand in it yet, and he turns around and looks at his mom, and then I just slowly stand up. And then the kid turns around and he goes, "Ah!" And he turned around and hauled ass back to his mom, started crying. So I took off the helmet. I'm like, "I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry." So that was good. It's October, and I've been thinking about Halloween lately, and I wanted to share that story. So, and the mannequin stuff. You could really prank some people with that stuff. It's hilarious. My wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, she moved in with me over at Ted's house, and Ted decided to get me back with these mannequin kids. Right when it's pretty much forgotten about, and over with, my wife, she said, "I gotta take a shower, get ready for work," and she went to the bathroom and screamed, and pretty much came out of the bathroom half naked. She says, "There's some fucking kids in the bathtub." I'm like, "What?" And I open up the shower curtain, and they're both in there just like looking. They're looking up. And I had to tell them, like, "Oh, it's those fucking mannequins. Ted got you." I think that was meant for me. And I'm like, "I'm sorry, honey." So I took them out of there and put them up in the rafters in the garage. And that's where they're at now. Ted still got them. Anyway, it does just some fun roommate pranks and stuff. All right, guys. Hope you liked that one. If you did, hit like, hit subscribe. Keeps my channel going. Helps me out a lot. And it's free. Doesn't cost you shit. And not for nothing, check out my Twitch down below. High fives and boners. And yeah, yeah, I got some more stories coming. So, hope you guys liked it. I really do. All right, God bless you. Thanks, guys. See ya.